Alrighty folks, I want you to see how much I'm doing on how small of a space in a way that respects chickens, completely healthy. There is no smell on my property, and I would actually argue that this method is healthier for the chicken than the chicken tractor. And I'm using the concept of deep bedding. So I have all these wood chips I keep bringing, so I'm bringing material to them, I'm bringing carbon to them, and they love to peck through it. They love to lounge in it. It breaking down creates a lot of warmth. I am creating soil. I have a huge 4-foot wall on this side just to keep it all in. And you know, from all the chickens I've raised over the past 2 years, and this is going to create amazing soil for my future gardens. There is no smell here. You know, look at this coop. I have 130 chickens staying in this coop. And when I go into this coop, so go ahead and take a look. Let's go in. Take a look in here. It smells good in here. There's no ammonia at all. This smells extremely, almost a sweet smell, a sweet aroma as that compost pile is actively deteriorating. I'm not doing anything that impressive. I have, let's see, I have about 200 square foot of electric fence out for them to forage through. I have this nice run full of wood chips, and I have that coop that's, let's see, that's probably 100 square foot coop. I'm raising 130 chickens, and I could do this time and again. I'm probably going to give them one more paddock over their lifetime. So I'm gonna give them another 100 square foot of pasture, and that's all. They're gonna have pasture, all the pasture they want. They're going to be, I can tell I'm standing on such healthy soil. The amount of worms these chickens get. These chickens eat an insane amount of worms. They're getting a lot of nutrition from that deep bedding. They're getting the warmth of the deep bedding in the colder part of the year as it's actively composting. And they're about at the size, about once every 3 days, I'm swapping out their deep bedding. So that's a very dense place where that's capturing a lot of nitrogen from their poop. I spread that throughout their run, so it's exposed to the elements and actively composting, bringing new material. That takes maybe 3-4 minutes a day. So if you're worried that you can't grow enough meat for you in a whole year, think again. If you're willing to put in the work to bring in material to them, use some of these composting methods with this deep bedding, you can grow a lot of your own meat. And not only does it grow meat, but this is growing your garden. You know, think of all the money you save from buying soil and compost. And so this is a really handy method to use. I don't use it all the time. This is a way in the beginning of the year I can get an earlier start, because Freedom Rangers, I can start them earlier. They're more cold tolerant, and I can keep them warm longer, where I'm not moving them to wet, cold grass all the time. The Cornish wouldn't do very well with that. So this is how I'm getting an earlier start. I want you guys to know this method in case you're interested in it, or just wanting to know how I'm growing your food. You know, and the reason I'm able to get away with such a small amount of space is because they're using the pasture for forage. And when I use chicken tractors, that is, they're not actually getting to eat all that forage. Meat birds convert feed so fast that their manure spreads through the chicken tractor. So only a portion of it is really good for foraging for them. And when I use that deep bedding system back behind me, that their manure is being captured mostly by that deep bedding, and that reserves their forage for actual forage. They're still fertilizing it. This is still gonna grow greener next year. They're doing really well. But this allows the forage to be, when you use a breed like this, that has a stronger foraging drive, that lets the forage be forage, and then that puts the poop on your compost pile. So you can use pasture more efficiently for their diet. Chicken tractors are great for field, because if you want to put them on a field, you can fertilize the whole field. You can pair that up with ruminants, and you're creating greener pasture for chickens the next time, for the cattle, for the sheep. So that's a wonderful system. I'm not critiquing it. I'm just saying, from a small space, you can grow a lot of food with wood chips and just 2 paddocks. Take 12 weeks of your year. I do have a tractor. That makes it a little bit easier, but a wheelbarrow and a shovel goes a long way. You could use this with 25 chickens, with 40 chickens, with 50 chickens, 130. I'm going to do this a couple times of the year because it's really beneficial for my homestead. And yeah, I hope you like it, guys. I hope you enjoy it. And I really appreciate this system, and I think you will too. And they're real funny. They have a foraging drive. Sometimes in the clips, you'll notice they'll all be in the deep bedding. And then all of a sudden, you'll see a herd of 130 chickens all simultaneously run out to pasture as fast as they can. They almost have like a foraging time. They all look at their clocks and go, it's lunchtime. So right now, there's nothing encouraging them to be out in pasture except pasture. I don't have a feeder out there. I don't have waters out there. That's all on deep bedding. Their feeders are full on the deep bedding, and they're picking pasture over the deep bedding. This is a beautiful breed. It's really worthwhile. If you're just doing it, if you're not doing it from a business perspective like I am, and you're just doing it for your family's own meat, go with the Freedom Ranger. This is such a better bird. It's a more beautiful bird if you're not concerned about making money as much and trying to make a business around it. Freedom Ranger's hand down, way healthier bird, way better foraging drive. You can use an electric fence system as long as you have a good plan for hawks. Really good system. So capture this beauty with me, guys. A meat chicken that still acts like a chicken and completely loves grass, bugs, will forage all day long.